The First Americans Museum is awe-inspiring, impactful, heartwarming, authentic, accessible, and inspirational, and it is ours. First of all, my gratitude on behalf of the people of Oklahoma City, to everyone who made this possible. Jim Pepper Henry did a pretty good job of thanking those by name. It is not wise, I think, for me to try and name names because someone worthy would be left out, and I've only been allotted a few minutes. But truly, hundreds, if not thousands, of people played key roles in making this happen. Each of you knows your contribution, and so do we. And you will have every right in the years ahead to gaze at this special place and say to yourself, I did that. And you will be speaking the truth. One of my mantras in public service is persistence and patience. This project may be the gold standard for that. But it once again demonstrates that if you'll stick with it and you're willing to plant trees so that our grandchildren have shade, you can accomplish amazing things. And this is an amazing thing. It is truly one of a kind. There is maybe only one institution that would possibly rival this in telling the story of First Americans, of Native and Indigenous people of North America, and that is the National Museum of the American Indian on the National Mall. But with all due respect to our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. is not Oklahoma. One does not go to California to learn about the Roman Empire. One does not go to China to learn about the American Revolution. Oklahoma has authenticity. It has credibility. Oklahoma is the home of 39 tribal nations, and as such, it is the pilgrimage you must make if you want to learn about First Americans' Native and Indigenous history and culture. And now, finally, we can offer you a world-class destination to have that experience, adjacent to 3 interstates and 15 minutes from an airport with 27 nonstop connections. The existence of First Americans Museum will forever change Oklahoma City. As soon as our residents experience it, they will be immensely proud. And as word spreads, post-pandemic travel fully returns, and as the surrounding development proceeds, this will emerge as a destination for millions of people, not just from the United States, but from around the world. I am incredibly proud to be the mayor of Oklahoma City at this moment in our history. Each of our 39 tribes here represented probably has their own traditions relative to the concept of destiny, but all I will say is that it is deeply meaningful to me personally that I have the opportunity to help open this museum today, and that I do so as Oklahoma City's first Native American mayor. It took the city 129 years to elect me, so I do hope that any need for cosmic serendipity did not hold up the project. In any event, here we are. And truly, at no time in its history has this city been more conscious of its place in the modern, First American, Native, and Indigenous story. I truly believe Oklahoma City has the strongest claim on being the nation's capital of Native America. And I believe this institution solidifies the case. Oklahoma City is America's 22nd largest city. We are the capital of a state that hosts 39 tribal nations, and we are now the home of First Americans Museum. I hope in the years ahead, natives everywhere will view Oklahoma City as their city, their capital, the preeminent large American city where natives are welcomed and recognized. We have work to do in order to truly establish that reality, but today's opening is a huge step and an essential one. These are the thoughts of a mayor. But not everything that will occur in this place relates to civic pride. I am also an Osage, and I am also a human being. From those perspectives, I recognize this is a place where people will go through an intellectual and emotional journey. It may be a physical journey of just a few hundred feet and may only take a few hours, but their hearts and their minds will travel great distances. This is a place where we will each try to make sense of who we are, what it is to be Native, what it is to be American, what it is to be both. John Joseph Matthews was a member of my tribe, the Osage. He was a great historian and writer, and he wrote the following in his history of our people, who he refers to as children of the Middle Waters. The children of the Middle Waters had begun to reason long before they came to build fantasies upon the foundations of their biological instincts and upon their mysterious urges. They had begun long before to fumble toward the light, which their mental development would demand that they recognize. They felt more now than the urges of food getting and mating. There was the third urge that came with thought. This was Wakan, the mystery force. And in their urgency to come to some understanding of this life force, they knew great fear and confusion. And they could only build their own framework into which they would try to fit this Wakan, and therefore bring it within the boundaries of their conception. They had been busy for perhaps centuries building a ritualistic cage for this Wakan, the mystery force, that they might have it under control, materialize it out of the world of abstractions, so that they might know relief or protection from their own fears and uncertainties. Matthews is not necessarily writing about museums here, but he kind of is. And by the way, he played an important role in the creation of our tribal museum. Museums are places where we build a framework so that we might take the world of abstractions and make sense of it, bring it under control. The events experienced by Native and Indigenous peoples over the last 500 years are great mysteries. And those of us now left to sort it all out can be left with fear, confusion, uncertainty. FAM exists to help us all work through those questions. It is a place that brings knowledge and a framework, and ultimately perhaps some answers and some comfort. I plan to spend a lot more time here, but I have spent enough already to know that people will leave here with great fulfillment, with a sense of impact, but inspired and comforted that we are making sense of it all, and that we can live through these mysteries, and that though the future that awaits may look different than the past, we have not forgotten the past. We will sustain its best parts, and we will be okay. That is the challenge and the comfort that I believe FAM will leave with its visitors, and that is a powerful gift to the world. This place is indeed a gift to all the peoples of the world. Thank you again to all who wrapped it, and thank you for this time today.